Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Layman, and today we're in for a special episode of Rolling Reactions. Now, 2021 was an amazing year for inline skating, really unlike anything I have ever seen before. On this channel, I've watched and reacted to so many amazing skating profiles and other great content that it really has me feeling like a kid again, and I mean that in the best possible way. Anyway, to close out the year, I thought it'd be cool to reach out to you guys, the viewers, with your recommendations for sections that I should watch and react to. Now, many of the recommendations that I received were sections that I've seen before and used before on the channel, so I wanted to feature just those that I legitimately haven't seen. And I've narrowed it down to 12 profiles. They're all pulled up and ready to go, and we're going to use the wheel to figure out which ones we'll be reacting to today. Eventually, I will get to all 12 of these, and I'm really looking forward to checking them out. So hopefully you guys will check them out with me, but let's turn our attention to the wheel and see who our first victim is going to be. All right, so here they are. Definitely some familiar names and faces on this list. And who do we have first? Oh no, this is gonna be a tough act to follow. Eugen just released his shadow video recently. That one I got a number of recommendations for. So let's start out with a bang. Let's check out Eugen Enin's section. Well, the wheel has spoken, so we're starting with Eugen, and you guys already know how amazing he is. We've watched and reacted to him on this channel before, but in this video, I believe this is the premiere of the Shadow skates ever since USD took control from the old skate company, Shadow, which was spelled differently. He's going hurricane topsail here, and did he just cross grab in between his legs? Like, you guys know Eugen is a technical wizard of skating, and there's literally nothing he can't do. I'm convinced he made a deal with the devil or something and has superpowers. Maybe got bitten by a radioactive spider or something. But I really love this guy skating. He is so good. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen a rocket back torque cross-grabbing the torque itself. This clip I actually saw on social media going into that fast slide. And it's not often you see somebody doing a switch up into a fast slide on a drop kink. And that's not a sentence I was really expecting to say in this review, but I'm glad I got to. So smooth. The other thing that I've always loved about Eugen's sections is he has really good filming and editing. And I think at one time somebody told me it was his brother that helps him with that. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But I recall hearing that it was his brother, that he was a skateboarder. And, you know, we show love to all action sports on this channel. That's just my personal belief. Look at that, fast plant into the 3 topsail. Just hop in the kink for good measure. Because why not, right? When you have that kind of control and versatility, you just throw in that little extra. Ooh, that was cool. Hand plant out, that's the kind of thing that you'd expect to see. Okay, this is not the kind of thing you'd expect to see. I'm convinced that that was impossible. I'm gonna have to watch that clip a few more times just to understand what type of negative madness was happening there. I'm gonna start calling him Dr. Strange, I think. This is the universe of madness. Really interesting kink rail here. Not only is it kinking down a couple times, but also outward. And so you gotta get the body weight distribution just perfect on those types of rails. Big jump over the kink. That was a big way to go. Big transfer. Some great scene setting shots here as well. Look at that, that's a tall one. Getting a little bouncy there because you got the brakes in the rail, and fish brain through the brakes in a rail, maybe not the trick that I would go for. Seems a little bit dangerous, but he made it look pretty easy on that. Really clean. Wouldn't expect anything else from Eugen. That was really cool. Really cool spot choice too. Look at this, he's going so fast, he basically just dropped down and missed that kink part of the ledge. He held it the whole way. Or if that's going to be the end of this one. If it is, I mean, that's just another really, really great section from Eugen. Love this guy. Can't show him enough love. Great work, man. All right, well, we've got one in the books, and it's time to figure out who our next victim is going to be. So we're back to the wheel. Get it a good spin here. Kind of reminds me of a CD. Do you guys remember CDs back in the old days? John Bolino. Now, John Bolino has been having a phenomenal year. And I actually missed out on this section, so when this one was recommended to me, I was like, what am I doing with my life? Sorry, John, but we're going to react to it now. All right, so this section was called Roll It, and I think that's a really appropriate title because for those of you that don't know, John Bolino is returning after being away from blading for, I think, 5 years, and boy, is he coming back with a vengeance. He's won a couple of competitions, placed really high in others, and has just been shredding everything. I believe he's skating for Mesmer, the new company that's put together by Billy O'Neill, and I think they released a promotional video for that as well, so I might have to check that out. Look at that going, huge 360 sole on the curb. And that's what you're going to get from John Bolino is everything's looked at creatively, but it's like creative stunts. And those are two things that don't often get mixed together. We think of like stunt skating, separate genre from technical skating. But for John Bolino, personally, I feel like he is the perfect merging of those two types of skating. Really sick 360 going into the jersey barrier wall. Look at that, getting that alley popcorn slap on there at the bottom. Oh, it's like a dropout ledge too. That just adds a whole nother level of difficulty. Yeah, I know there's some different awards that are offered throughout the year. I think BMAG does an end of the year awards, and I think One Blading Magazine does end of the year awards as well. And I would personally be very surprised if John Bolino wasn't winning at least some form of award. I mean, there's been a couple really amazing skaters coming back to blading in the last couple of years. And I think this year we saw John Bolino. Actually, he might have came back last year, technically. But John Bolino's been back on it. Jake Dotson has been back on it. Demetrius George. And all of those guys are just picking up exactly where they left off. And to me, that's a sign that blading is really healthy right now. That the quality of our skating and the exposure of our skating and the viability of rollerblading to hit a larger audience is maybe primed for success, unlike it has been in the last decade or so. So it's a very optimistic, positive time, I think. That was really cool. Like wall ride to inside sole. John's just got a really clean style too. I don't know if any of you watched Blading Cup. I think he took second at Blading Cup to Montre Livingston, I believe won. But he did this massive 720 out of the quarter pipe and over the fence into the street. And that's how I remember John Bolino as just being the master of 720s and of gaps. And here he's hitting the fast slide, but he's definitely eating all the meat off the bone on these, making every trick look perfect, and having that really high standard of quality for everything from the approach to the rollaway to the spot selection, grinding over caps to give it that extra little bit of flavor. And I just really dig those gaps. Again, that's what I know him for personally, and he does them better than just about anyone. This spot does not look fun. Alley-oop wall ride over that second set. I think sometimes, too, people don't really realize how difficult doing a double set in a row can be, because often you have very little time to set up for the second rail or for the second gap, and having that little bit of angle correction, speed correction, makes the trick significantly easier. And when that's taken away, then that's just one further obstacle to deal with when trying to land a trick, let alone a line. All right, my first impression is this rail looks pretty cool, but after seeing that, I might amend that statement. Wow. Did not see the Hurricane Topsole coming. Seems like everybody's got Hurricane Topsoles these days, and for me, it makes me feel a little bit inadequate, especially seeing people do them on handrails. The only time I've ever done Hurricane Topsoles personally, skate parks, maybe occasional one on like a P-rail, but to do it on a real rail, whole different ball game. By the way, that was a really long alley-oop topsole hold, and that's a trick that you don't typically see done on kink rails. Coming in fast for this one. Massive gap there. Gotta be careful when you're bombing the hills like that, though. Watching out for traffic. That's a stunt right there. Man, that must have been 5 or 6 feet out to that rail. And you gotta be like perfectly lined up and ready to jump there, because if that trips you on your ankles, your shins, your knees, you're going faceplant scorpion into the ground. And I'm glad that's not the case for John. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's an experienced skater, and I say welcome back. All right, guys, well, we kick things off with two amazingly talented skaters. Really tough acts to follow, but we are going to feature a third profile in this episode of Rolling Reactions. So for one final time, we'll give the wheel a spin, and see who's going to be our next skater. It's looking like it's going to be Cody Lampman. Now, Cody had an amazing profile last year in Ashes, and we'll see what he put out this year. All right, this profile is titled Phantoms, and Cody's coming in fakie 270 pud slide. Is that what I think that's what I saw. That is not a trick that I think I've seen on anything, let alone like a P-rail or a ledge. Doing it on a down rail is some serious business. So if that's your idea of an opening trick, Cody, I think we're in for some good things here. Hopefully that's foreshadowing what's to come. Anyway, I've always thought Cody was a really smooth skater, very technical, very confident, very minimalistic too in terms of like his clothing and his attire. Check this out, he's got this backslide through the kink, perfect grab. That's what you're going to expect from Cody, is just really stylish skating. Going cross grab on the true spin Machio on the wall rail. You guys know that I'm not a huge fan of skating wall rails because they're significantly more difficult and deadly than they look. Love that shifty. Style points there. Go ahead and award them right now. That's what we're doing on this channel. Always giving away the style points. That was a misfit. That's a trick that you don't see very often. Going back to the wall rails with the wall ride to topsole. That's another hammer right there. And another wall rail. Dang, Cody, you've got a thing for wall rails in this video. And once again, coming back for some more wall rail. He is just off the walls in this video. All right, this is pretty cool. This is the type of spot that, like, I would drive by and not even have second thoughts about skating. Like, I would look at it and just move on. Oh, there's no trick here. So having those types of creative minds like Cody's, where they find a trick where there otherwise wouldn't be one, is I think one of the best attributes of what we're seeing in this creative, innovative age of skating right now. Like, he just did a soul grind on the wall. What else can I say? Was not expecting that. Ooh, that was a fast alley-oop negative mistrial. Excited for that one too. Getting technical there. Dropping down. Good mix of tricks here, and yet again, another wall rail. Cody, you're killing me, man. Every time I see you do that, I'm just picturing imminent death in my own head, so I'm glad that you're significantly better at it. Pud slide to alley-oop top horn? Yeah, you're kind of breaking my brain, Cody. I love it, though. I love the different types of skaters that we see in inline right now. You know, there's the traditional technical hammer-based skating, but then we also have this progressive, innovative, stylish side of blading as well. And when skaters can mix it all together like what Cody's doing right here, it makes for a really entertaining section and very watchable in my mind. That's a cool wall ride. Very photogenic spot here as well. Surprised that the cars didn't distract him because they were pretty close up there, so not leaving a ton of room for error. Speaking of photogenic spots, this is a really photogenic spot right here. Taking the front side all the way across the bridge over to the other side. Probably some Ninja Turtles living in there. If they are, they would be clapping for that because that was amazing. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Rolling Reactions featuring Eugen Enin, John Bolino, and Cody Lampman. What an arsenal of skaters. I mean, if you can put those three together in one day, that's going to be a good day. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, guys, it's been a good year as well for inline skating. Looking back at the year, reflecting, there have been a number of bladers returning to the sport of skating. We've had new faces joining, companies coming back and being resurrected from the dead, new companies starting, and it feels like there's a lot of momentum on our side. And I just want to be thankful for that, but also remind you all that we have a role to play as ambassadors to the sport, that every one of us can do our part to carry that momentum forward and make sure that rollerblading is sustained for future generations to enjoy. I know I've loved every bit of this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2022 has in store for all of us. Anyway, guys, I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. We'll see y'all with the next video. Till then, peace, everybody.